Hello everyone, Animander Gaming here, and welcome to my very first Godfall video. Today I'm going to go over my favorite farming method, and in my opinion the easiest way to get endgame level loot and farm it fairly quickly, and kind of get around that nasty, annoying Electrum wall to the endgame content known as the Dreamstones. If you like this video and would like to see more Godfall content, be sure to leave a like down below, hit that subscribe button, and maybe leave a comment on whether or not this method has helped you, or if you like this method, or if there's another method that you want to share. This is also my first time using ShareFactory Studio on PS5 to edit a video, so forgive me if the video seems a little bit amateur. It probably is. Without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so for today, I'm going to go over the build I use for farming and an awesome method I use for farming. Just a little bit of the basics here. Using the Sword of Courage, the Bulwark Valor Plate, bleed build. Could have slightly better rolls on this. I could have damage to bleeding enemies or more critical hit chance than weapon technique damage or polarity attack. So I don't use polarity attack. I've just got this here to fill the slot. I don't actually use it at all. Brother's Promise, it's more just for mobbing and for the critical hit damage. I don't really use it for the primary effect. The Lunar Token, it's all about that crit chance. Getting those crits in on those bosses, make the farming nice and fast. The Dawn Signet, again this one's really only for the physical damage and the bleeding enemies damage. The rest of the rolls don't really matter on it. Same with this one, just because of the longsword damage, everything else doesn't really matter. I don't have anything better to put in there. The Archon's Tear, Lifestone. This gives you a massive amount of crit chance and massive crit damage for 10 seconds after your life stones. And you can use these quite a bit. Doing this farming method, there's going to be green orbs all over to pick up, so you're not going to run out of them. So you can keep that buff up most of the time. Same thing on Mace's Bandroll, the Banner. It's all about that crit chance and crit hit damage. As you can see, this one's only level 26. I could have a much better one, especially with longsword damage or chance to inflict bleed on it rather than greatsword and chance to inflict poison. It's just an old one that I had. As for the augments, they're not too important. I just kind of filled all the slots the best I could. This one goes really good with the critical hit chance upgrades that we've got. Just gives Blessing of Power, just gives you more damage for about 10 seconds, I think, whenever you get a critical hit. Another really important one here, the extra breach damage to bleeding enemies. So your breach damage can really help stun some of the bosses while you're fighting them, but it also adds a lot of really good resistances to elements. The rest of them, nothing too spectacular. This one's, the secondary, has got 26% damage to bleeding enemies. That one doesn't really matter. This one I find really helpful, gives you an extra life stone whenever you drop your banner. So it just gives you one extra heal to use. And now the rest of them don't really matter nearly as much. For my skills, I'm pretty much maxed out. I got finesse maxed, weak points maxed. I went up in recovery just to make my way over to ailments, all stats, straight to Archon Fury. I did Archon Fury first, then went over to all stats. Crit hit chance, vitality, soul shatter. Soul shatter and the spirit ailments, it's really only better for mobbing. It doesn't matter that much for the bosses. You're going to be doing takedowns on them anyways. Vitality helps you stay alive longer. Crit hit damage and might, again, just gets you all the damage that you can. Get those bosses down as quick as you can. And Rampage, using a longsword, you're going to be activating Rampage a lot, so it just gives you a flat damage bonus. And some items will also give you bonus crit hit damage while you're in Rampage. That can be a big boon. And weapon techniques maxed out. They're a good opener for fights. It gives you a little bit of mobility too, especially with the longsword, the southern technique. It's a nice little dash, gets you out of trouble if you need to get out of there fast. Alright, so I might skip past some of this, but we're going to go to the Exalted Earthrealm Gauntlet. Costs 15,000 Electrum to enter. It's a little expensive, but you're going to be getting more than enough doing this method. Within 2 or 3 runs, you're going to make double that back anyways. So this run revolves around getting up to the end and then exiting out before you actually complete it, so you don't have to reopen it or anything like that. So between these two, a weapon boon or a physical boon, since we're a physical based build, we're going to go with the one with the physical boon. The boss reward on this one doesn't really matter because we're not planning on actually finishing the Dreamstone, at least not until we're done farming for a while. So we'll just go with this one. Get it done as quick as possible. If I can, I'll just skip past all this. Keep in mind that these guys are level 54, whereas I'm only level 50. Complete that. I'll go collect our boon. So normally I would take damage to bleeding enemies, but that one's not in here, so we'll just go with the 60% physical damage, because that's just going to give us a 60% flat damage bonus to our longsword. And then we're going to check again, physical boon, or weak point boon. Again, we'll go with the physical boon. Hopefully this time we can get the damage to bleeding enemies. That'll give us a huge amount of damage boost for these boss fights. If you wind up with really not so good boons here, like if it wants to give you water boons and you're using a physical build, or air boons, whatever, it doesn't affect it too much. It doesn't hold you back. It just makes it a little bit quicker if you have boons that match your build. But again, it does cost 15,000 Electrum to open these Dreamstones, so you can't exactly just keep reopening them until you find boons that you really like. Sometimes you gotta go with some boons that aren't so great. This is actually the first time I've had the option to have 2 physical boons in a row, so it doesn't happen very often. So of course with Thrax, you don't always go to use heavy attacks. Light attacks don't do basically anything against him. It's all about getting that breach damage on him. That's one of the reasons that extra breach damage is a big help. Because some bosses like this, or some mobs, you do have to be able to breach them quickly. And of course we can just spam the weak point to get him down in no time here. Simple enough. Collect all the loot. Okay, so still no damage to bleeding enemies, but we can get another 60% physical damage boon, which is huge. Holy crap, I've never had that before. Alright then, this is going to be super easy with 120% extra physical damage. I sure hope. Just watching how I said it's going to be super easy. I'm going to die like 5 seconds in. These bosses are fairly simple. One of the reasons I prefer this gauntlet over the other ones is both of the other gauntlets have double bosses in them. Get the 2 black tide guys in both of the other ones. I find those ones can be a lot more annoying. Like I think in the water realm it's the Felshus Diarch bosses. They can be really annoying when they keep trying to heal, and well, the one's healing, one's always blocking you and you can't actually hit the one that's healing. But these bosses are super simple. You can usually do this part in about 2 to 3 minutes. So as you can see, there's plenty of green orbs about. We don't need to worry too much about healing here. Got plenty of life stones to use every time we get hit. Keep that buff up all the time. The more you have that buff up, the faster you're gonna go. You're gonna drop your banner, you get a little bit extra crit hit damage and chance. And now that we've defeated the third boss here, all we're gonna do, finish him off, cut the last little bit of loot, I lag a little bit, and then we're just gonna abandon the mission. We go back out. And now you can see we can go right back in. There's no penalties, we don't have to pay to open it again. We've already collected all that loot from those first 3 bosses. Now we can go in again and kill the first 3 guys one more time. Use that takedown. Took the last of our loot and abandon the mission. And you can pretty much just rinse and repeat it from there. As you can see, going into there, I made back almost enough to open it again. At 10,000, you need 15,000 to open it again. But since it's still there, we don't need to open it again. And go back, salvage all the stuff that I got that I don't want to keep. I really can't wait for them to add that mass salvage option. That's going to be so nice. But in the meantime, this isn't too bad. I've seen worse in games. Some things you can get to, like this one, I do want to get a higher level version of, just because it does allow you to shoot out projectiles every time you hit a weak point, physical damage, and that'll help you inflict bleed more often. And with the Sword of Courage, that bleed damage is also, or the bleed ailment is also going to proc your Sword of Courage. It's going to shoot out more projectiles that deal physical damage, cause enemies to bleed. It's just going to be a really nice chain reaction once you can get it going. So as you can see, just after getting rid of all that, I've already got almost 20,000 Electrum. So in 10 minutes it's taken me so far, I made back almost 20,000 Electrum, and didn't get any legendaries that time. The game is just on easy, just to make it nice and quick. There's no real difference in the loot between easy and normal. If you turn it up to hard, you'll almost get like legendaries guaranteed every time. However, those bosses can be really tough on hard. I find it's a little easier to just be able to farm them consistently on easy or normal. Again, because since there's no real detriment money-wise for farming them on easy, just a little less likely to get legendaries.
Thank you for watching this, my very first Godfall video. I hope you enjoyed seeing this farming method, and I hope it helps you out a lot. Again, this is my very first video, so I hope you'll forgive the okay-ish editing here. I'm still learning how to use ShareFactory Studio on PS5 to make my own videos. It's a really cool piece of software. If anyone is interested in making their own gameplay videos, I would definitely recommend downloading it from the PlayStation Store and giving it a try. If anyone has any ideas on videos about Godfall that they would like to see, feel free to send me a message. I'm always open to suggestions. Thanks again for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy, and I'll try and get more Godfall videos out ASAP. Bye for now.